morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to the Six Bugle Podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Ruiz, and today we have a very special guest, Paige Day, an old friend of mine, and that we had gotten together with the Fire FSDI, Fire Service Executive Development Institute, back in 2011 or so, something
I
like that,
believe
right,
so.
Paige? Yeah. So, and Paige has a very special product. It's called Emily Technology, and what it is just an additional tool for water safety. But I'll let her get into some of the details of that. Paige, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Rudy. It's great to see you.
Yes, it's been some time now, and I've seen you on LinkedIn on your social media, and I thought we got to get back together and talk about the old times and talk about what's
Sure.
going on new with you. So tell us a little bit about your product.
Great. Great talking to you. When I closed the chapter of my fire service career, I was recruited by this company, Hydronaulics, which is located in the state of Arizona, which is kind of ironic since we do USVs and it's Arizona where there's not a lot of water. But then again, in Arizona, when there is water, there's a lot of water. So we do have flooding issues and stuff here as well. So what this little Emily boat is it's a USV, it's drone technology in a boat. It has a carbon fiber hull and it's made out of aircraft grade fiberglass. It's a specific composite, so it's very, very strong. It's designed to work in conjunction with its cover, which has a tremendous amount of flotation. So it can get into the current, goes very fast. It's battery powered, so it's environmentally friendly. It's easy to use, deploy, and then provide stabilization for a drowning event. We also have other platforms that you can use for as far the same exact boat, excuse me, but it has a sonar system in it, the Humminbird sonar. So you can also use it for recovery if you need to.
Got it. So we're surrounded by the Great Lakes, obviously, and departments around here dealing with increasingly unpredictable weather patterns affecting the water conditions in and of itself. How has Emily technology evolved specifically to address these rapid shifts in water conditions like we see in the Great Lakes region? And what feedback from fire departments has most influenced these developments?
That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked me that. First of all, kind of side note, I went to a conference in the Great Lakes and I never understood about the Great Lakes and that they're really inland oceans. They have their tides, they even have tidal waves and how the currents go around the lake boundary itself was just fascinating to me. So the reason why the Emily is the way it is number one, it's very strong. You can drop it from bridges, you can drop it from higher level. It's designed to take that impact load that you need it to do and stay together and still be able to drive it to the person that's in trouble. It's line of sight technology. There's radios in the boat, and then you have a handheld transmitter. So the rescuer can guide it to the person that's in trouble and stabilize the situation immediately. The other thing that's good is it keeps your rescuers out of the water because that's where water drowning is the ultimate equalizer. And we've lost a lot of rescuers with drowning just because it was not a safe condition to try to rescue someone. And it's in our hearts. We want to go out, we want to take care of people. And sometimes it has the ultimate um, consequence of
Consequence.
that. So this device, this robot, allows you to get someone very quickly, goes about 28 miles an hour. Take the finger off the throttle, provides flotation, and then the rescuers have time to figure out what's the best way to get them out of the water. And as far as what happens with different areas, with different conditions, with different, are we dealing with flooded rivers? Are we dealing with lakes? What are capsized boats? What's going on? It's all about your training. You need to take these out and train with your organization and figure out what's the best policy to go ahead and deploy these because it just expands your operational footprint. What you do already, it just gives you the tool to go out and provide stabilization very quickly to rescue someone.
I see. Yeah, that seems like it would be extremely beneficial, especially with all these weather conditions that are changing so much. And I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys were very busy with the floodings that have been going on recently and so forth. So, with many departments around the Great Lakes that operate with limited budgets but face significant water challenges, could you walk us through the implementation process and the training requirements for Emily systems and share how smaller departments have successfully integrated this technology into their operations?
Yes, actually, we do have a small footprint in Michigan and as well as Wisconsin and the Great Lakes area. And obviously, there needs to be more because it's such an incredible little robot. It's such an incredible tool for rescue and scene stabilization. But there's many different ways you can do it, especially now that everything has changed. I know when I was in the fire service and we first started talking about drones, as a chief, I'm like, we're not using drones. That's crazy. And now everything has changed. And so we have photo kites on the top of Pierce engines, and we have drones flying around for to do scene size up and everything. So everything has changed. And with that, that's really beneficial because suddenly robots make sense. And suddenly the Emily makes sense too, because it is a capital purchase. It is an expensive asset. So you do have to justify it in a budgetary process. But then again, and this sounds pretty horrible, but if the community, if someone drowns in the community and the right people take that torch up, in Michigan especially, there's been a lot of donations
Mm.
of the Emily's to smaller departments so that they have this tool so that people won't drown in front of them, or they have the ability to provide life safety support that they wouldn't normally have. So donations are a big one. You can look into that. Also, there's grant funding. It does qualify now for grant funding as
Mhm.
well, and also community purchasing. You can work with your police department. You can work with, a collaboration of agencies so you can get that together and purchase it for your community and figure out what's the best way to deploy it operationally. So
Right.
I've seen a lot of that. And also corporate sponsorship. There's nothing wrong with asking that. Water companies, if you know that there's a specific place where people are drowning, even, if you rent a canoe rental place that's very profitable, you might want to talk to them as well. So it's community engagement because it is something that does make a difference.
No. Yeah, that's a great idea. Do you have examples or samples of grants that were successful?
It depends. Actually, one of them used the Firehouse grant or the Firehouse Subs grant.
Ah,
Excuse me.
got it.
So they
Yeah.
were able to procure one in New Jersey. There's other local grants that are available. The safer grants and the bigger grants, the UASI grants. It depends on your community. If you're subjected to a lot of flooding and you've had a lot of incidents that you can justify using that for this equipment, then just look and find them. So if you have a good grant writer, or if you have somebody that does the grant research and they're like, hey, this totally aligns with what they're looking for, then that's great. Also, communities, you have your rotaries, you have your different, you can reach out to your community sponsorship too, and have them at least help a match. You can do matching grants too.
Mhm.
So we've had a few with that. Also emergency management, offices of emergency management. Oregon just bought three of them through their office of emergency management with their grant funding. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
that's
you have to do your research, and I'm always here to help. I mean, that's what I do.
sure.
So if someone needs help finding money, I'm really good at it because that's what we had to do. That was
Right.
my 20-year career is finding money and people to
Right,
pay for stuff that I need.
exactly. No, I love the partnership idea. I love the community involvement. Nonprofits, they have money just for that, and
Mhm.
people don't realize that. Like you mentioned, the Rotary, the Lions, I call them the critter clubs, the lions,
The
the eagles, the
critical,
moose.
yeah,
You know,
moose, yeah.
yeah, they all have revenue to just for that purpose, right? To partner for the community that's going to benefit overall the safety of whoever it is they serve. Yeah, that's a great idea, and
That's
I
what's
like the
the
fact
part.
that the law enforcement with safety services, emergency
Mhm.
management, even because you're all going to be there, right? If there's an
Right.
emergency like that, you might as well and you're absolutely right about the drones. Before I left, we incorporated a drone system with the sheriff's office, and now the police department's got one, and you use them all the time. We used them several times to for heat seeking to find a wandering elderly woman that was
Oh,
lost.
right.
So,
Right.
and it was beneficial. So you're absolutely right. It's more and more accepted now and
Mhm.
expected, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So that's a great function for the water area. So let me ask you this: what's the most surprising, unexpected way that you've seen fire departments utilize Emily?
Well, firefighters are they're very good at problem solving, right? And they also love really cool toys. So somewhere in the middle of that, where you have a really fast boat, right? That's this little boat, and then you have to realize that yes, it's safety equipment. It's highly sophisticated electronic equipment. So somewhere in the middle of that, you would be amazed at how uh, it's been implemented in different ways. One way I can think of it right now is there was a high angle rescue event across a river.
Hmm.
So they used the Emily, they strapped all the high angle rescue equipment to it and used it as a shuttle back and forth across the river because no one was in the water, but they needed to get across the water quickly to the other side and get stuff there as a staging area.
Right.
Another one that was really good, again, was used as a transport unit was in Georgia on the Chattahoochee. There's this one area near Roswell where there's a high angle rope course, with the trees and everything.
Sure.
And people fall all the time because
Yeah.
that's why we had careers, is people
Doing
constantly,
crazy things.
do something they should. But to get there by ambulance or to get there by response time was 45 minutes just because of the way it was with the river. But to get there across the river was 3 minutes.
Mm,
So they used the little Emily as a transport vehicle once again and had splinting equipment and stuff. And there's, EMTs that work over there and they were able to stabilize the people. So that
nice.
was kind of a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing I saw is they tethered the Emily. This is the same guys on the Chattahoochee, and there was girls floating down the river, of course, and firefighters and beautiful girls, and they were floating down the river in tubes, and they used it to go around them and hold on to the rope, and they simulated a rescue of five girls um, to get out of by holding onto the rope
Nice.
because the flotation is such that it can hold up 5, 6 people, but the motor is small. So it's just designed to get there, stabilize it, and then figure out what's the best way to get people out.
Sure.
So people are very ingenious when it comes
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
different
Innovative. That's for sure.
innovative. There you
Yeah.
go. That's the
Yeah.
word.
Well, that's great. It sounds like it's a wonderful tool, one that's extremely beneficial, and however costly, it's an investment, right? It's not an expense.
Right. What's the
So
cost of a human life, right?
right,
I mean,
right.
but it's worth it. All you have to do is just, and the other thing, Rudy, is it's a great PR tool,
Hmm.
especially if you're doing like drowning impact awareness, you're doing outreach about summertime safety, swimming
Sure.
safety, where it is flashy, it's fun, it draws a crowd. So why not let people know what you have?
Right.
So when I was a fire chief, man, I just anything we got, we just pushed it out because everything that was purchased was for the community. It wasn't, we wanted people to know what we had to
Absolutely.
keep them safe.
Yeah, it's their tax money, it's their levy money, and we want to let them know how we're being cost efficient
Yes,
and smart with their money. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
exactly.
So how can they get a hold of you? How can they get some information, more information?
Well, we have obviously our website at hydronaulics.com or emilyrobot.com, and I'm available on LinkedIn. So if you message me, I'll be sure and send you all my information. You can always email me at Paige, Paige dot day, day, at hydronaulics.com, and I'll answer right away.
Excellent. And we'll have all
I
that
have that
information.
relationship. Yeah,
Yeah,
anytime. I mean, any questions that people have, I'm really good at helping people find money
yeah,
and find sponsorship and because it doesn't do anybody any good if they're just sitting here in Arizona. We
right,
want to
right.
get them out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll have all that information at the very end of the video here. Well, thank you very much, Paige, for
Hey,
all that you're doing for the communities that you're serving and the lives that you're saving. You certainly are extending your legacy as a safety person, and I've always known you to be a very very caring, very intelligent individual, not just in the fire service, but as a good human being. So I'm glad I was able to find you again and get in touch with you and help share your message and get your message out there because it's something that's very, very important. So I just want to say thank you from me
Thank
personally
you.
for all that you're doing, and also thank you from our Six Bugle fans that are out there listening. Make sure you get a hold of Paige and reach out to her. We'll have all of her information at the end of this video here, and look out for her, and hopefully we'll be able to make that connection and save some lives. So thanks again, Paige, very much for being here on the Six Bugle podcast.
Thanks, Rudy. Awesome to see you.
All
Take
right,
care. Be safe, my friend.
thank you. I sure will. Thank you all for joining us here on the Six Bugle podcast. Take care.
Take care.